Welcome to the Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler.
All right, it's 11:02. Welcome to the Lock Shop. Thank you very much for being here. Lock Shop and all of Edmonton Sports Talk. Presented to you by our great partners over at Play Alberta. If you've not yet downloaded the app, please do. It is new and improved and will only be getting better and better and better with your input. If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart, you're watching over on YouTube today, please tell your friends how easy it is to continue on the fun that we establish on the Nielson Show every single morning on 95.7 Cruise FM. And the sports conversation continues throughout the day. What a 40th birthday for Tom Gazzola in a week where he gets relegated out of the EST draft for a little bit. Celebrates his 40th birthday, gets the cake. His mom dropped off a bunch of Italian Center, like a full spread from the Italian Center, which is absolutely awesome. And then Pod Colson gets an extension on Tommy's birthday. Absolutely perfect. All right. Matt says Oilers versus Jets. Loser pays for chicken tendies at the Elephant and Castle. Dusty can pay for that. The CFL is giving him a raise, probably. No, the CFL is not. There's a reason that I had to start Edmonton Sports Talk, and it was to continue to make a living to provide for my family that I currently don't get at the other place. So it's very important to have two good jobs nowadays, and that's what I've managed to do. So all that being said, I can splurge on some tendies for Huss at the Elephant and Castle if he wants to. Hashtag justice for Lock Shop. How about the Lock Shop yesterday pulling in almost 1,000 views with the CFL news? The commissioner of the Canadian Football League should have a press conference changing the league every single day on the Lock Shop. I think that would be a lot of fun. If you are listening on TuneIn or iHeart or EdmontonSportsTalk.com, you can hit us up in the inbox at 780-218-9999. We got a busy show today because there's like a million things we wanted to get to yesterday that we couldn't. And now the Giants are starting Jackson Dart this week. So we'll get into that as well. We've got one EST special that is up and waiting for you over on the EST specials page at Play Alberta. And that would be for the Blue Jays game tonight. Gosman on the bump. We're going to go Jays money line and Alejandro Kirk with a hit. That's it. Jays money line, Kirk hit, plus 130. It felt so nice. So nice yesterday. I had coaching evaluations for the Muzz's girls hockey this year. And then I was like 8 minutes away from Selly's, the casino where Eric was hosting Monday Night Football. By the time I got there, middle second quarter, we'd already cashed the early bird bet, which is just the best possible feeling. Derrick Henry, anytime touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs, over 3.5 catches. Cha-ching! Cashed it right away. We're going to bring Huss in here in a second. Is he frozen or is he sitting insanely still? My God, I don't know if I ever saw a human sit as still as Huss was there for a little while. Let's bring in Huss from Winnipeg Sports Talk. Huss, were you on your phone? You were just so focused. Yeah. I was like, I think he's frozen.
I was sending a text. Just, it's been a busy day so far. We just went, like normally we'll do CFL 110 for, I don't know, like 45, 50 minutes.
Oh, how long did you go?
Well, we started just after 10, and I think we finished at 11:45. So probably like the 110 was like 110 minutes almost.
Okay, maybe that's what you do now for the modified name.
Yeah, well, hey, you know what? I do have an idea, though. I did see there was a lot of people that were bemoaning the loss of the 55-yard line.
Yes.
How about this, Dusty? We just keep midfield, the 55-yard line, and the goal line is now the 5. You got to get it
just cut right down to 5, and the 5 is right on the goal line.
Yeah. We're cutting down 0 to 5.
What a plot twist!
And maintaining the integrity of the league. Hey, listen, we're going to get to NFL.
Oh yeah. Lots of follow-up. And we had Johnston on our show this morning too.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't really. We kind of were live afterwards, and obviously yesterday. But now that people have had kind of a night to sleep on it, first of all, how was the conversation with the commish? And what did the Nasties have to say about what's coming down?
Well, the Nasties are mixed. Big Uke, supersized Indiana Jones, has basically been on a full-blown rant fest since I saw him last night.
Really?
Yeah, he's not overly happy with a lot of it. I thought in general it was a pretty good conversation today with Stu Johnston. We did ask him a couple of things, including the comment of not being committal on a fourth down situation. And his quote on our show this morning said, "There is not 1% of my brain power that is focused on anything to do with downs. We are a 3-down game, and that's where we are." So, I mean, I thought that was more encouraging than his answer from yesterday. He was pretty adamant about it. Asked him about the final 3 minutes and how the timing is going to work there. And he did say that He talked a little bit about how the Ticats and Elks game last week took 11 minutes of real time to play the final minute and 20 seconds. And he said they don't want that type of slower finish in games. But he did say the ability to come back is not lost on him. And that'll be sent to a rules committee, essentially, to see how they're going to execute the final 3 minutes of these games with the 35-second play clock. But I did. So I like a lot of people were worried about the play clock. And it's interesting because last night, so we've had the 20-second play clock, right? They'll get it, the play will happen, then they'll get it all set, and then they'll blow it in, and then the play clock starts running. Last night, I was sitting down after watching Monday Night Football, and we'll get to that in a second. I was sitting down doing some work, and I threw on the Ticats Elks game, and I just had my phone. And I just, after a play ended and the whistle went, I hit start, and then I was like, let's see how long it takes for them to blow in the next play. And over the first half of the first quarter, I got everything from 16 seconds to 29 seconds before blowing in the 20-second play clock. And I was just like, I see what they're doing here. Like, they're trying to make it more uniform, right? The one play will end, the 35-second clock will start, and you got to be ready to go in 35 seconds. So, I mean,
hurry up offenses. Like, guys will get to the line. They'll be like, if you're trailing in the football game, it is incumbent on the offense to be able to be ready to run a play as soon as possible. So when the ref blows it in, like the game, the 35-second clock is still going on.
It's still going.
When they blow the play in and the clock starts, you can snap the ball right away. Like that's my understanding. Like, if anything, I think that it will provide just a consistent, consistency when it comes to the end of a play and when the next one is coming in. It is going to be, and I would love to talk to, officials about this, because I think the pressure on the officials is going to be ramped up with their ability to get the football ready into a position where the play and the clock can be thrown in as the 35-second clock. Like, put it this way. If you've only got 35 seconds to snap the ball, and in the case that you just cited, 29 seconds goes off before the before the ball is set and it's able to go. I mean, you're only getting 6 seconds.
Like that can't go. Like, you got to move quicker and get this thing in, right?
That'll be a uniform way, and I mean that will be a challenge for the officials as well. But
I just texted one of the officials and I asked him. I said, "Is there going to be more pressure on you guys with this running 35-second play clock?" So we'll see. We'll see what he says, because that's a good.
Some refs on the Rolodex. Gotta like it.
Well, a couple of them. If we need an over, I'm like, hey, throw a flag. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. These are buddies in Edmonton, so don't worry about it. It's a joke. All right. So, what was the overall reaction yesterday, Huss, from the WS tiers?
Well, I mean, listen, there's a couple people that were pretty loud, that were outraged, and some guy dropped a super chat in and saying, "I'm canceling my season tickets." I don't know whether that is overreaction. Like, and again, here in Winnipeg, maybe it's a bit different, but I mean, what makes the Bomber games great is the fact that the place is full. There's incredible energy. Everyone's having a good time. The team's been really good, all that. Like, I don't know. I just don't think that these changes are going to take away anything. And if anything, I think if you subscribe and at least you have an open mind, I think you can wrap your head around the product, hopefully being a little bit better or maybe significantly better in some ways. And that's what everyone wants. So, listen, anytime you make big changes like this, there will be a section of the group that's very, very adverse to changing anything. But I think there is a pretty large number of people that said, okay, it's still 3 downs. We've still got the wide field. There's 12 players. There's Canadians involved in the game. That is the basis for the Canadian Football League. And if you can have all of that and improve some other areas of the game, they're here for it. Some people don't want to hear it at all. So I don't know. I mean, I get, like, if they had said we're going to 4 downs or we're playing on an NFL field and we're going to try and standardize it because that's the way it's played at other places, then I think that would have justified, some real blowback. But they didn't go there. And I thought that the press conference itself, we didn't really talk too much about that, was very professionally done, laid out, with the commissioner giving his thoughts, a very, very detailed, graphics that went along with it, with that program. So, I mean, it's going to take a while, like everything, for people to get their heads around. But I would say the majority, like we just did CFL 110, and this was the poll question. Overall, what do you think of the CFL's upcoming rule changes? Mixed feelings was number 1 at 35%. Hate them was 28%. Love them 20%. And not sure yet. So essentially 72% of people either had mixed feelings, not sure, or love them. And then there's 28% that
people hated it. Yeah.
So I guess we'll see. It's pretty clear why they're doing all this. They're trying to improve the game. They're moving forward. And I just hope that it works because we all love the Canadian Football League. We don't want it to lose anything that makes it great, but like everything, and we see leagues all the time make rule changes and change things. It's always done with the best interest of the game in mind. So if you believe that to be the case, which I do, you give it a chance, and hopefully everything that they rolled out in that press conference comes to fruition, and we have a more entertaining game moving forward.
Okay, so a couple of things. First of all, I heard back from that official. I said, "Is there more pressure on you guys?" He says, "Not really. It'll be more so on the teams. It only takes us a bit to get reset." So he's talking about the teams subbing and stuff like that. Right now, they can drag it out a little bit, and so he's not overly concerned about their perspective of it. VR Montenegro over on the chat. I also want to get to this text from Uncle Jesse. Says the commissioner is trying to get the lock shop recognized for an Esty nomination by having the availability at 11 o'clock and putting like we had 1,000 views on lock shop yesterday. So
breaking news. It was breaking news. Where can you go? Edmonton Sports Talk live with immediate reaction afterwards. What a show it was yesterday.
Chris Perper actually over in the inbox as well says people complained about Major League Baseball changes. Now it's hardly noticed and it's added scoring.
Huh. So complaint. There was all sorts of complaints. Now
he said people complained about it.
Yeah.
And he said now it's like
probably the most successful rule changes in any sport in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, let's just for a minute, let's talk about big changes that have happened around. To me, the pitch clock and going that way has been the biggest win for any of these leagues. I mean, those freaking Red Sox Yankee games on Sunday Night Baseball were going regularly over 4 hours. Games were taking forever and people weren't watching. And now you've got to have a quick pace. A lot of the criticisms of baseball have just been taken out. Whoa, what happened here?
What's wrong, buddy? What happened to that guy? He was still fine. All of a sudden he said, "Whoa, what happened here?" And then, he's back. There you are. You're back, buddy. Yeah.
I just got popped out just in the middle of a great take.
That was weird. We heard you say, "Whoa, what happened here?" And then you disappeared.
Oh, you did. Oh,
yeah,
you did.
I heard you say
I don't know.
that.
It just froze on me, so I just
okay.
But anyways, you look back now. Try and find anyone, literally anyone, that goes, you know what? The game's too fast paced now in baseball. I really wish we could go back to pre-pitch clock. Like, there's no one. Absolutely
the
no
pace
one
is perfect in baseball right now.
It is a legitimate sport now. Like before, it seemed like at times an exhibition or something like that. So that has been huge. I mean, I think about hockey. First of all, coming out of that lockout, deciding to actually call the penalties in the rule book was
back in 05-06.
Yeah, hugely beneficial to the game. Things like no touch icing, touch up offsides, taking out the red line. Like tons of people bitched about all of those things when it happened. Does anyone mention it now? Absolutely not. So, I mean, listen, as I say, the proof will be in the pudding when things happen. But I've thought a lot more about the goalposts.
Yeah.
And listen, I mean, and you made a great point yesterday. I mean, there is that excitement of those missed field goals going back, which honestly doesn't happen very often. I think everyone that's happened has been in a Blue Bomber game this year. I mean, Trey Vival has done it twice, and Pimpleton did it against the Blue Bombers. But other than that, when you actually look at how many field goal attempts there's been, nearly 600, I think, in the league this year, we're talking about less than 0.5% of those field goals that are doing that. So, a small price to pay, I guess, if you get the added offense and opening up the end zone to all of it. And you know what? As much as people are saying the Rouge, it was great to have the Rouge in. To me, modifying the Rouge makes a lot of sense. And I was never one banging the drum to change it in the first place, because I did kind of like the fact that there was a Rouge, that single point. It was uniquely Canadian. But honestly, being rewarded for missing field goals does not make a lot of sense. And now I think we're going to see some new nuances to the punting game. We've got this Aussie here in the peg, Jamison Sheehan.
Yeah.
He has great directional kicks, and he's able to place the ball quite well. I'm really interested to see how punting changes. The punting actually might be more exciting now when you're in these sort of areas where if you can get it into the end zone, deeper into the end zone, but not out, forcing teams to return it, to not give up the single point. Because I think giving up a single is going to be a lot more important now. Because the fact that those other singles are not on the table, that just naturally happen throughout the game. So if all of a sudden you're making the decision to give up a single point, I mean, that could actually operate almost as a field goal if the singles aren't coming off the board for the routine things like punts and field goals before. So listen, I'm intrigued. And as I said yesterday, none of these things was a hill that I'll die on. For some people, that's obviously different. But I think for the most part, there's a wait and see approach. But as I say, we know why the league's doing what they're doing.
You know what's interesting? I brought this up with Stu this morning because I'm trying to think of when he talked about their increased touchdowns, and I think part of it comes from not having the uprights somewhat protect the middle part of the end zone for the defenses. But I asked him, I said, so what are you guys expecting to have happen when it's 3rd and 4 and the ball is on the offensive 35-yard line? It would be a 57-yard field goal, which they might run out with Castillo. They might run out with Maltos Diaz, but Sean White's not kicking a 57-yarder. Lewis Ward isn't kicking a 57-yarder. Paredes isn't kicking a 50. Lothar's not kicking a 57-yarder. So I said, are you expecting, as you talk about this driving more offense, on a 3rd and 4, your options would be a 57-yard field goal. You go for it, or you try a short/tight punt. And I said, is that going to lead to more punts? And then he made an interesting point. This would be from the 35. If you're trying to coffin corner a punt in there and it bounces into the end zone and the other team takes a knee, gives up a point, but gets the ball on the 40, You're kicking. You were on
Will it be the 40? Or
I don't know. We'll have to see if they modify that. We'll see if they modify that. But if it stays the way it is now, they get the ball on the 40, and they're actually 5 yards further up than where you had it when you could have gone for it on 3rd and 4.
Yeah, I don't have clarity, but I would assume and I would hope that 40 changes to the 30 now.
To the 30.
I think that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I also think we were talking about this off the air between shows. Probably kick it off from like the 20, the 25 now, the 20-yard maybe. Kick it off from there.
Where is it right now?
Right now it's kicked off from the 30, 35, 30? I think from 30. The 30. So you back that up 10 yards to equate to the 10 yards missing in the middle of the field?
Well, the thing is, it's still basically that might not change.
See, this was the Awonic theory. Like Awonic basically said today, let's say you're kicking from the 30. You kick it from the 30, that other 10 yards in the middle is gone. You're receiving it on the 10 as opposed to receiving it on the 20. Mm-hmm. Right? Which would, that's why he's saying you would back it up so that you're still receiving it around the 20-25.
With the shorter field, I think they probably want the returners to be catching it in and around the 10.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys are catching it around the 10-15 right now anyway. I don't know, but this all goes to the rules committee, right? Like this is being handled, sent down now to the rules and competition committee, and it's kind of their headache if you want to call it that now. It's going to be weird walking into a stadium, though, to start 2027 and seeing like this shorter, fatter, like wider type of field, like the same width, but it'll look wider, right? Because it's shorter. So it'll be a little weird looking. Johnston pointed out today that, the field is still 33% bigger than the National Football League field. I saw this guy on Twitter, actually, because a lot of people were like, they're just Americanizing the game. So this guy went through and compared the two leagues. And basically, the 100-yard field is the same. The uprights at the back of the end zone is the same. But after that, you've got a 53-yard wide field to 65, 10-yard end zone to 15-yard end zone, 4 downs to 3 downs, 11 players to 12 players, no waggle to waggle, 40-second play clock, 35-second play clock, Canadian ratio, rouge versus no rouge, defense 1 yard off the line of scrimmage or right on the line of scrimmage, fair catch on punts, 5-yard rule on punts, new kicking formation, traditional kickoffs, 2-minute warning, 3-minute warning. And then he added on it, good overtime rules versus bad overtime rules, and better beer versus crappy beer. So a couple at the end to just sort of push it over the edge. But like that's still how drastically different the two leagues are. Right? So I think probably jumped into a lot of conclusions if you're simplifying it too much.
I was blown away by Nathan Rourke's comments, though.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that. That happened after. I have to say, I was very surprised. I was surprised that he came up with some fire. I think it was more so the players not being involved that piss him off than the actual changes. Because in his comments, he talked about, things that make this Canadian are 3 downs, the size of the ball and stuff. I'm like, well, Nate, all that's staying the same. I mean, did he get bad information on what they were doing? Or I mean, maybe somebody said they're changing 2 NFL rules. Like I could see, like to me, his reaction kind of was a reaction that you'd say if somebody came and said, hey, they're flipping it. The whole thing's going NFL. That's what his reaction was kind of like. So who knows? I mean, I don't know. He seemed kind of over the top. I love the fire, but it seemed a little strange, didn't it?
A little. It was way over the top. And especially for a guy that, like, basically what he said yesterday was very different than what he'd said earlier in his career. Like, he kind of claimed yesterday be like a CFL lifer and 3-down guy throughout his life and all that. And I don't think that was really the party line from Nathan Rourke earlier on in his career, as he went to the States for college football and tried to crack the National Football League a couple times. I kind of took it more as, being a little bent out of shape that, they would go ahead with all of this stuff without talking to the face of the league. I mean, Luke Wilson made the point that said, hey, well, it's easy for Nathan Rourke to go off like that as the highest paid player in the league. What about the rank and file? What about the guys at the bottom of the thing? I mean, presumably this will hopefully help move the league forward and make it more successful in a number of ways, but financially being one of them, which, presumably would trickle down to some of the other players. Probably won't happen for a while, and the thing is, like with everything, you hear the negativity more than you do any positivity.
That's true.
Like, what's everyone talking about? Well, Nathan Rourke called the rule changes garbage and went off yesterday. No one's talking about Levi Mitchell and him being pretty keen on it.
I didn't see Bo. Was he pretty keen about it?
Yeah.
I saw Davis Alexander was kind of pro the changes too.
Yeah. Willie Jefferson threw something up yesterday saying this is what, seemingly in a positive light. So, I mean, we'll see on all of it. But tell you what, it's fun conversations, and it does show you, despite what a lot of dummies will tell you, that people do love and care about the Canadian Football League. And tell you what, if they can get a few more people to take it seriously and pay attention, that'll be good. If they can grow their footprint outside of Canada with more people watching it and better television with a better product, that's a good thing. All of it moving forward. So as I say, there was nothing that I was going to plant a flag in the ground, said I couldn't wrap my head around from what they announced yesterday. The most important things haven't been touched. And, to be honest, I'll actually give Stuart Johnson and the league and everyone that went into this a lot of credit in putting this together with a very clear goal, well-documented data and reasons for why they are making these changes and what's going to be coming in. And as I say, I still think, it's going to be this Canadian Football League through and through. And again, by the way, this is something I should have sent this to you. I don't know if you saw me tweet it out last night, but our buddy Joe Pascucci last night, the historian of Winnipeg sports, tweeted out video of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers playing at the old Osborne Stadium in downtown Winnipeg before they moved to previously known as Canadian Stadium. The Bombers played on a 100-yard field with 15-yard end zones back in the day at Osborne Stadium. And he said, seems everything old is new again. So they said on CFL 110, I'm waiting for like the 85-year-old dude that says, I grew up watching the CFL back in the day, 100-yard field, 15-yard end zones. I've been waiting for this day for a long time. It's finally
my game again. It's my game again. I've been waiting years for this game. Yeah. That's kind of funny, actually.
Yeah, so that video is up there if you see. I just
saw it. I went and watched it. Yeah, that was good.
100-yard fields and 15-yard end zones. So we're back to the
I guess since you've already done CFL 110, you know the lines then for the week, eh? Did you guys dive into those?
Yeah, but I mean, they were off, and one of them moved 3 points while we were doing it.
Okay, so here's what I've got right now. And all four are live. And we'll hit this then. We got a ton of NFL to dive into, so we'll go there next. Calgary Stampeders, 2-point dogs on the road in Montreal. Maybe this was the game that moved on you.
That means no VA.
That's it. Yeah, that would be, well, I mean, where are we at on Vernon Adams right now?
Because, I mean, when I first saw this line, Calgary was -1.5, and then it was off the board, and then it went to +1.5 or 2. I mean, there's no one else that's moving a point spread 3.5 points in a Calgary-Montreal game that's not playing quarterback.
Here's from yesterday. Vernon Adams was on the field today in uniform. He did not practice in drills. Team says he is dealing with a painful bruise on his back. Status for Montreal is unknown.
Okay, so it's not concussion. That's positive for me.
So, that's we'll see. The Argos are 10-point dogs right now against the BC Lions. Now, did you see what Dinwiddie said today? Dinwiddie said that Arbuckle looked pretty good at practice today, and if he can do that again tomorrow, he's going to play this week. So
beautiful.
I mean,
give me the Argos.
You might want to sprinkle the Argos right now at 10, because if it comes out that Arbuckle's starting, this line moves to at least inside 8, doesn't it? Doesn't this go to 7.5?
I think so. Yeah. To me, this double-digit line is a line that says they're going with the third stringer.
Yeah, that's a daggy line. So the fact that Arbuckle practiced positively today, you might. And I still like BC in this game, but you might want to sprinkle the Argos at the 10, because I think that line's going to move. Ticats and Bombers is sitting at 1. Ticats 1-point favorites on the road, and then the Riders 4.5-point favorites on the road against the Elks. Do you expect much movement in either of those games, Huss?
Well, I don't expect much movement probably in the Saskatchewan-Edmonton game. I think they got a pretty good read on, where this game is. I mean, maybe it goes to 4.5 or maybe it goes to 3.5. The Ticat Bomber game to me is wild. Like, I mean, Hamilton is a 1-point favorite. How does that change if all of a sudden we find out that Zach Collaros is taking number 1 reps with the Bombers offense? Like, do the Bombers then become a favorite? Like the Bombers -2, Bombers, I mean.
I think it at least flips the other way. It would be Bombers -1.
Well, put it this way. If it's confirmed that Strevler's starting, I think that number for Hamilton goes to like 3 or 3.5. Because, I mean, no one will forget what they watched on Saturday against.
Impossible to.
So, that being said, going up against a team with a legitimate offense, legitimate quarterbacking that is 9-5 on the season, it is definitely going to be tough to win a game when you have absolutely nothing going on through the air. So, to me, this game, I'm a little surprised that they're just hanging it out right now, where it is, because I do think that one way or the other, this line is going to move. If Zach Collaros is going to play, I think the Bombers end up being at minimum a pick'em, if not a short favorite. And if he's out and it's confirmed that it's Bo Levi Mitchell versus Chris Strevler, I mean, how in the world are the Ticats not more than a 1-point favorite?
Yeah, you're right. It's kind of middle of the line road right now. So we'll see when it moves. We'll see what happens at practice today. And
are the L5 against the Riders coming off the bye and that tough loss at home? I really want to take it.
I think they're. I mean, they've been playing really good football. They just haven't finished. Like they should be able to hang around at home versus the Riders. I 2-3 days ago I saw on social media that this is trending towards 30,000 at Commonwealth, which would be awesome again.
Wow.
With the Riders rolling into town, like so. I think they're a live dog at home here, but 4.5 right now. We'll see. Matt says that Collaros is leading the offense so far at Bombers practice. So,
all right. Well,
is
that's
that from?
I like the Bombers at 1. I like the Bombers +1 then.
There you go. Get on that one before it moves as well. So we got some early lines you can hop on. We're going to take a look at these week 4 lines. Week 4 already. Week 4 lines in the National Football League. Huss, what'd you think of the Monday Nighter? How about the Detroit Lions running all over the Baltimore Ravens last night?
Wow. What a performance.
That got me very, I mean, hanging 50 burger on the Bears is one thing, but going out and dropping as many as they did last night with ease in the run game against the Ravens, I mean, the Lions are back offensively, man. I'm very excited about this.
Never mind against the Ravens, on the road, outdoors in Baltimore. I mean, this is a team that, I was a little worried about Detroit. Not that I don't think they're a really good team, but they just, away from the indoor, like they're indoor cats. They're indoor cats.
They always have been, yeah.
But that was absolutely phenomenal. Jared Goff, amazing. I mean, David Montgomery. As a guy that last year in one of my leagues just said, screw it, I'm starting Montgomery and Gibbs, both, every single week. I mean, I think there's only 6 times in NFL history where a player has had over 150 yards rushing on, I want to say, 11 or less carries.
Yeah.
The 72-yarder was a monster for him. But, we're also horny for Gibbs because of how talented he is to get in there. Montgomery's not going anywhere. He is a big, big part of that team and showed just how dangerous and effective he can be last night. So their run game was absolutely brilliant. Goff made the big plays. I thought the coaching was phenomenal. I mean, you compare what Baltimore did on the goal line compared to what the Lions did. That play to St. Brown with the pitch to Gibbs,
man,
brilliant.
That was, so I'm sitting there. I popped by Selly's last night where Eric was doing Monday Night Football. I'm sitting there next to him at the time. And first of all, I needed 31 points from Gibbs in fantasy. So let me just say this, fantasy messes with you because when Montgomery ran in that touchdown late to seal it away, I literally needed that exact play from Gibbs to win my matchup. I looked at Eric. I said, that's the play. I need a 30-yard touchdown. That was it. Should have been to Gibbs. He goes, your team's going to beat the Ravens on the road. I was like, I know, but it was supposed to be Gibbs. So on that play, when Gibbs is lined up next to St. Brown at the goal line, I'm sitting there next to Eric, and I'm like, give it to Gibbs. Give it to Gibbs. And then they hand it off to St. Brown, and I'm like, no. And then St. Brown pitches it back. I'm like, yes. It was... that was awesome. And then the 4th and 2 midfield, and they go for it, and they just dump it over the shoulder into St. Brown. That was just Dan Campbell putting the old big balls on the table. I was loving it. So, yeah, the offensive swag was back for the Lions last night. I loved it.
Think of how you felt after watching the Lions get stuffed in a locker in week 1 by the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, I was devastated.
Parsons. Everyone thinks like, oh my God, okay, here we go. Ben Johnson was the key to everything. Aaron Glenn's gone with the Jets. Like, they drop a 50 burger on the Bears and then come back and shove it down the throat of the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. I mean, just a wild play. Oh, I see the Bomber line has just this one's off the board right now. So let's see what happens. If are you still live there at PA?
Man, I'm watching it right now. It's already flipped. Bombers -1.5. It literally flipped in the last 3 minutes. We just said it was going to go from 1 to something on the other side, and it literally is flipped.
This is not
in
too
the
often.
Last 5 minutes.
You get to drop a take and be proven right 5 minutes after it came out of your mouth. That's the lock shop for you folks. We're on this shit.
Nailed it.
We're on it.
Nailed it. Should have got on a, that's funny. Oh, that's good timing for sure. What about the Ravens, Huss? 1-2. Henry's fumbled in 3 straight games after fumbling 3 times all of last year. Nice play by Hutchinson to knock it out. But
against the Chiefs, bench Derrick Henry.
That's
Players
a good idea.
need to be held accountable for ball security. There's
the
only
1-2 Ravens versus the 1-2 Chiefs, just like we all thought going into week 4.
It's not a loser leaves town match. It's way too early in the season.
But one of those teams is going to be 1-3.
One of those teams is going to be 1-3. And I would suggest that the Chiefs need this win a heck of a lot more than the Ravens do. Like you look at the AFC North, Cincinnati, we can write them off. Joe Burrow's done, regardless of the fact that they've got 2 wins. The Browns are the Browns after doing your Lions a big favor with that win over the Packers. Yes. And, the Steelers are 2-1, but the Steelers aren't scaring anybody right now. So Baltimore's going to be fine either way, and they still win that division. I can't possibly see them not doing it. I think their schedule kind of lightens up after the little later on. But man, the Chiefs, listen, they got their win. Wasn't particularly pretty, but they got it on Sunday night against the Giants. I guess they've got a small advantage in the fact that the Ravens played on Monday night and then are going to Arrowhead on Sunday. But it really is a big, big game for both teams. And one of those teams is going to be 1-3, which will be a bit of a hole for them to dig out of. But if you ask me right now if both teams are going to be in the playoffs, I'll say yes. I think they're both just too good, especially with the help the Chiefs are going to be getting. Like, I think they find a way to be in it. But wouldn't be surprised me if the loser of this game, especially if it's Kansas City, does not win the division, considering the great start that the Chargers have had.
Well, let's take a look at these, an early look at these week 3 lines. If you have any fantasy questions, waiver wire questions, fire those over too. It's waiver wire night, right? So if you have any questions there, 780-218-9999 over on the Nasty Chat as well. Here's what we're looking at for lines for week 4. And I'll just whip through these, Huss, and you can let me know if there's 1 or 2 early week lines that you think we should be hopping on.
By the way, more line movement just in the last minute.
Okay, let me guess. It's not on the Ticats game?
No.
It's on Montreal. It's the Montreal game. I don't know. I don't know what's broken. What news is moved? What's going on here?
Well, I think just more about VA because the Alouettes are now 2.5 point favorites I'm seeing, and the money line keeps getting bigger as well. So Originally, so this line has moved 4 points in the last 30 minutes. So to me, they're getting info that VA is not playing and they'll be going with the third stringer. So get on Montreal while you can. As predicted earlier on the lock shop, that line is going to be, that line could significantly move more. Well, it already has. 4 points, but that's what happened to the quarterback. And again, 2.5, you can probably live with. And that is where it is right now. But I think we're going to see some continued change. To me, I'm looking at Owls and Bombers money lines. And even still, Hamilton could absolutely win this football game. I just figured, if I'm looking for an angle on the Bombers, the Bombers can only be considered to bet if Zach Collaros is practicing and playing. And that looks pretty good. It looks pretty good right now.
All right, here are your week 4 early look at the lines. Let's see if there's anything that could be moving. We'll have to see where that Giants number is at with Jackson Dart announced as a starter this week. Seahawks, Cardinals. That's your Thursday nighter. Seahawks 1-point road favorites in that one. The Vikings 2.5-point favorites on the road in Pittsburgh. The Bills minus 15.5 at home against the Saints. The Chargers are 6.5-point favorites on the road against Jackson Dart and the Giants, going up against the Chargers. Not a easy first start for Jackson Dart, but saw enough of Russ at the end of Sunday night. The Eagles minus 3.5 on the road against the Bucks. New England is at home against Carolina. They are 5.5-point favorites. The Texans are 7-point favorites at home against the Titans. The Lions, 8.5-point favorites at home against the Browns. The Commanders are 1-point favorites on the road against Atlanta, coming off that spanking that they got from the Panthers. The Colts are 3.5-point. The Colts at 3-0, 3.5-point dogs going into Los Angeles to take on the Rams. The Jags are 3-point dogs going into San Fran to face the Niners. The Raiders, 1-point home favorites against the Bears. The Chiefs and Ravens we talked about. Chiefs, 3-point home dogs. The Packers, 7-point road favorites against the Dallas Cowboys. And then we have a doubleheader on Monday night. The Jets and Dolphins. Gross. The Dolphins are 2.5-point favorites at home. And then the Bengals and Broncos. And the Broncos by 7 at home against, obviously, the Joe Burrow-less Cincinnati Bengals. What jumps off the page from that slate?
Well, thank God that it's a doubleheader on Monday night.
Yeah.
And it's one of those ones where they're playing at the same time, so people won't be forced to watch the Jets and Dolphins. Obviously, the Joe Burrow injury significantly kind of hampers the star power of that late game. But interesting that the Chiefs, Mahomes had only been a home dog once in his career as a starter at Arrowhead before the loss to Philly that I was at a couple weeks ago. And just with the way the Ravens have looked, I'm a little surprised that it's all the way up to 3. Although I did think that we'd be getting plus money on the Chiefs on the money line in that game. San Francisco minus, what did you say? Was it 3 or 3.5?
3.
See, if Brock Purdy can play and we can get it at 3, I guess we're going to need to stay on top of practice reports for the next little while. If Brock Purdy is playing, what do you think the line is in that game?
6.5.
Yeah, me too. So, we'll see there. Houston.
Latest on Purdy was he's expected to return to practice this week. That was yesterday. So
excellent. Well, if he's going to return to the practice, I'm sure he can return to play. Cleveland plus 9 is interesting. Their defense has been so good this year. They're number 1 in a few categories, number 3 in others. But again, almost anywhere I might consider backing the defense and taking the 9 points anywhere other than Ford Field with the Lions. Although maybe a bit of a letdown after the big game against Baltimore. You're coming back home on a short week. I will actually consider the Browns at this one. Oh my God, the Bills are 16.5. What is it? 16?
I had it at 15.5. You seen 16, 16.5?
16. That number might get to 17. by the time. I'm seeing Saints plus 900 on the money line. I doubt we'll get a bigger one all year long. And then obviously some quarterback questions in and around, the Washington game. Does Jaden Daniels come back? If he does, I kind of like them as a short favorite against Atlanta. Man, Penix had a rough day at the office, eh?
That was
ugly, and they ended up going back to Kirk Cousins. I think they'll probably start him. And then the Thursday nighter's interesting. What did you have? Seattle -1?
1. Yeah, 1.
Seattle sure look good so far right now.
They have looked pretty good so far.
I'm not really a believer in the Cardinals. I don't know what it is. James Conner, by the way, out for the season.
He's out for the season. Trey Benson.
Trey Benson.
If there's for some reason Trey Benson is actually available in one of your leagues, he's your top waiver wire target this week. It's not even remotely close. But I think he's probably been stashed on a bench somewhere. And that's why these elite level handcuffs are important to get. If you're going to run to James Conner and he goes down, Trey Benson could straight up be a league winner. Because now he doesn't have to deal with James Conner. And there's not another Trey Benson just right there waiting. So, you have to be patient with these running back handcuffs. I like what I do later in drafts is I draft other guys' handcuffs and I'll keep them on my bench. And then either they come to me begging for them or all of a sudden I've got an RB1 to add to a few other RB1s, right? You can have your own handcuff, but you lose a guy while you're just filling that guy in. But if all of a sudden you get the one league, who do I have stashed? I've got Ollie Gordon, I think Braylon Allen, and I think maybe one other guy. And I've got a couple good running backs. For example, I think in that league I have Omarion Hampton. And Najee Harris is done. So Marion Hampton has become an every week starter 100%, undoubtedly. And now 3 touchdowns, but he's been targeted 17, 18 times in the last 2 games. So in my one league where I'm a little weak on wide receiver, I am thinking of maybe putting in a bigger fab claim on Tucker.
Yeah, he's been unreal. I'm hoping for a little more Jacoby Myers over the next little bit.
Hey, man, I'm hoping for a little more Brock Bowers here. I know he's banged up a bit, but he had 30% target share in that first game of the year, I think. And then since then, it's kind of dwindled off a little bit. Low. Yeah.
But just right off the bat, teams that I kind of lean if I was going to put a ticket in right now, I'm looking at... I think the Patriots bounce back big time against Carolina. They're 5.5-point favorites. I know Carolina looked good last week. I'm not sure that travels as well to New England. Kind of intrigued with the Giants at plus 6.5. Although, man, the Chargers have looked really good so far. And I'll tell you what, Tampa is a 3.5-point dog at home against Philly. Philly sort of came to life with their passing game in the second half of that game against the Rams. Still can't really get over the Rams blowing it the way they did. The sting of losing the cover on that, never mind the money line, will last with me for a very, very long time. And listen, the Niners as well. I think it's almost worth it to bet the Niners at -3 right now and just hope that Brock Purdy plays and you get them at a great number, because even if it is Mac Jones, I don't rule out the Niners being able to beat Jacksonville. Your boy, the franchise,
he's been missing a few. He's been missing a few open guys so far this year.
Brian Thomas unstartable right now.
You're telling me? God, I got a few shares of Brian Thomas right now, and it's concerning me. And Sobkirk over in the chat says Drake London has a Penix problem. And that's a tough look. Hey, Huss, before I let you go, Tommy Gazzola turned 40 today.
Come on. Happy birthday to the handsome one.
Yeah.
He's probably still getting carded at bars.
Probably still does. I said, he looks and acts like he's 25 years old. Living that good life. But yeah, Tommy turns 40.
What's Tommy's Instagram DMs like today?
I'm sure if I ask politely, he'll show me. So that is an all-time question. The only type of question you'll find here on the Lock Shop. Vote
Exactly.
for us for show of the year on the Estes, man. We exactly predicted the line movement 5 minutes before it happened in a game today. You're getting that somewhere else? Come on.
No,
what are we doing?
We can bury Horowitz ourselves coming out, and then get to more on our programs coming up for the rest of the day.
What's coming up on WST, buddy?
Well, Dunk's going to pop by. Justin Dunk. We'll have more on the CFL rule changes. And hey, tonight, right here in the Peg, Jonathan Taves kind of officially begins his journey back to the National Hockey League. I don't even know who we're playing tonight. Might be
the Oilers.
Yeah. Why are they sending anybody?
Probably not.
McDavid.
I don't know. I haven't even we got
Matt Savoy, Isaac Howard. Who are the vets? That's always like the guys at the bottom of the depth chart going, hey, sorry, buddy, you're playing the road game. We're mandated to have 8 vets in the lineup. Probably
still one of those lineups I would think. I don't think I've seen anything on tonight's roster just yet. I'm sure somebody will tell me if I have.
I can tell you, we won't be fretting over the Oiler lineup tonight for preseason. But Taves, Nyquist, and Perfetti will be out there seeing a bunch of the young guys. And before the game, we've been invited by the Jets to come down and try out all the new concession food.
My man, on brand, indeed.
Right in it. So we'll see. Oh, and Winnipeg being the 20-time defending Slurpee capital of the world, Slurpee's in the building this year.
No.
So we're gonna have a Slurpee, Jet Dog.
Do you know how much they're gonna charge for a Slurpee? I'm just curious. What's a rink Slurpee cost?
That's a great question. I being a big gulp guy, I couldn't even tell you what the regular Slurpee cost is right now. Especially when big gulps were 79 cents all summer.
All summer long for us, the 79-cent big gulp.
People say you can't get a deal in Canada in 2025. It's $3.7 all summer, the big gulp. But I will be able to tell you that potentially as early as tomorrow's Lock Shop after we're at the game tonight. So it should be fun. JBM will join us. And by the way, Lock Shoppers, any of you that want to join us, we're doing poker Wednesday night. So hit us up on the socials or fire me a DM if you want to join us. Always like hitting the tables with some of you ESTers.
That'll be a fun time. All right, man. You have a good WST today, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Take it easy, dude.
There you go. That is us from Winnipeg Sports Talk. Another solid Lock Shop. Like, we're putting together a run here that gets you into SD conversations. I don't think that's bias. I don't think it's unfair. I think it's reasonable, people. Why limit your choices when you can have it all? Play Alberta is your go-to app for casino games, sports betting, and lottery, all in one place with easy access to real money games. You can enjoy everything Alberta has to offer right at your fingertips. Download the Play Alberta app now. Start playing today. Whether you're on the app or you're on the website, you can use the code EST Sports. You deposit $50 and you get $50. I see chat. Us over in the chat says, release the DMs. In the background, I can still hear us laughing like a little pervert. Oh, it's too good. All right, so what do we got? Oh, yeah, 2 guys and a goalie is coming up next. We're going to talk. Podkolzin gets a 3-year. Who would have thought Podkolzin gets the commitment before Connor? What does it mean? We'll get into that coming up next. That's going to do it for that. Good luck to the Jays tonight. We got Jays money line. Alejandro Kirk with a hit. It's up. It's a plus money number. It's over on our EST specials page at Play Alberta. 2 guys and a goalie for GS Constructions on the way next. Thank you very much for joining us. Best of luck tonight, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.